Who are you?
Mrs. Catling,
Right. When were you born?
1913,
Yeah. And what day?
19th of December.
What do your mum and dad like?
Father and mother.
I mean, what would they actually like? They might be very short, but they're really, really strong.
They were very nice.
You worked hard, I guess.
Very hard, my mother did.
Yeah.
I was one of 12.
Oh.
I had 9 brothers and 2 sisters.
That's lovely, isn't it? Did any of your children die? Did any of your mum and dad's children die?
Yes, but I don't remember anything about it.
How many are there? 12 of you, aren't
And one adopted.
there? And one adopted.
That made 13.
How did you sleep?
When I was very small, I slept in a crib.
Yeah.
A cot, as you would call it today.
Mm.
It was always called a crib.
Mm.
And it gave way one night, and I fell down it. I remember that. And there were 2 others in it. My brother Albert and me.
Gosh.
No room. We were 12 children. They put him in a shoe.
No. How did you sleep later on?
3 in a bed. In the middle of my 2 sisters.
Gosh, that must have been hot in the summer, didn't it?
Terribly hot. We was at the pot of the
Nice and warm in winter. What was the house like?
Well, you would call it a schoolroom, not a kitchen. It only had a sink, an old brown sink in, you won't know about those, and a copper. A copper is a place where you boil things. It was a built-in copper. It was for washing clothes, boiling water for washing clothes. But you had a fire under it. You had to make a fire, and when the fire so later in years, there was gas coals. Still the same thing, only it was a gas jet underneath. But we never had that, not while I was a girl. I had one of those when I was married. That was a long while ago.
What toilet did you like? Like bathroom toilet?
We didn't have a bathroom. The house was lit by gas. We had gas mantle, which used to break very often, and they were hole in it. Have you ever seen a gas mantle? No, and I can't describe them to you. There are still some around, but it was a gauze-like looking thing, like shape of an egg cup, kind of.
Yeah.
And it was white. Well, you see the blue, that fitted onto a fixture that was on your gas pipe, and there was a jet come out of that. You've seen them because your electric things at school, in your science department, they'll have a jet on, won't they? Well, it was a similar thing to that, a blue jet, and this mantle pit on top of it. And of course, when you turn it on, that went all good, made a bigger light. And but we only had really a mantle on the living room, which a lot of people would call the kitchen, and there was no sinking, but that was a great big fireplace, beautiful fireplace when it was clean. Friday was cleaning day, and it was made, it was black leather and steel parts on it. On Friday, when my mother cleaned it, which of course she had to go up flues with her arm, they were all flues because you had a coal fire. It was the most beautiful thing to look at. It shone lovely. It was a lovely fireplace when it was clean, but it was horrible to clean.
What was the rest of the house
It was
like?
a great big one, and we had had a parlour, we called it a parlour, which you would call a lounge nowadays. In between that, there was a cubbyhole, you might call it, but it was more or less a pantry. It was under the stairs. But there's no light whatsoever in it. It was very dark. I used to hate to go in it because we didn't have a lot. Mother didn't let us have a lot of candles going around. There were not many children around, and I used to hate going into it. When you got the door open, when you stood a bit, then the light, you'd see a bit of light, but normally it was dark. But we had that as a pantry because we'd no other pantry.
What was the rest of the house?
And the stairs went up from the living room, and there was a room each side, and then there was another flight of stairs up into an attic. Here's the attics. You can see them from this window, and you can see the one where I was. And the attic was a big room over the whole of the house.
Must be large.
It was large. There were 3 or 4 beds in. So the boys all slept up there. I did at one period. I can't remember much about it. But they used to have pictures out of Tom Mick's book fastened on the wall. But the wall was all crumbling. Wanted proper plastering, but it didn't get done. And outside, there was a good morning a shed attached to the house, which really was for the coal put in. But we didn't put that in. The yard was was a bit bigger, and it was the black earth. We used to play on there. I used to play marbles with the lads and all sorts of things. And at the bottom of that was another building, and it was divided by a place where we put all the rubbish and the ashes. We called it the ash hole. But I suppose that was a nickname for it, because the house next door, it was all one yard with a house to it. We both used that, and the toilets were inside, but they were
Outside?
It was one big building with this in the middle, and that side was the neighbour's toilet, and this side was ours.
But it was cold going out to the toilet.
Definitely in winter time, because you got to walk right down the yard, and when it was night time, I was scared stiff as a child.
No, I'm
going to tell you. Mum used to make one of the others walk down with me, you see, stay outside, which they didn't like very much, but no, and it was what we call a pan toilet. And there was a great big metal pan, and it was covered over. The front was filled in by a wooden board and a one on top, a lid, with a big round hole with a lid to fit on top of that, a lid come down onto that. The whole lot was a lid that's lifted up, but when to use it, you used to just take this round lid off.
Oh yes.
You remember? Like a thing like that with a round lid off. And that was emptied by what we call the men used to come and empty that at Friday night, getting on to 12 o'clock at night. I don't know what they used to empty it in, because we were always in bed asleep. But if you're awake, you never bothered, you never looked, and it was dark and they had that. So what they wore, I don't know. But that was the toilet, and there was a wall at the bottom of that, and over that was all wasteland.
I must move on, because I've got really got to know.
Yes, well, go on.
What did you used to do at night time without entertaining? How did you entertain yourself?
We made our own.
Yeah.
We used to play snobs.
Which is a sort of,
And marbles and
skipping?
when it was like night, we'd go outside, late in alerty. Do you know, there used to be a tin, and I think, you know, I can't really remember it.
Play tag.
We'd play that, and we'd play skipping and chase.
Rolling in your house, no,
That was outside. We couldn't play those things inside. It was quite a game. It was quite a. We'd sit with the Ludo and the snakes and ladders. And when it was getting near Christmas time, we used to make all the trimmings.
How do your mum and dad work?
Father was a miner.
What about your mum?
With all those children, there was no time for any other. She used to bake every day, only Sundays. And I mean, bake flat bread. Not at the weekend. She used to bake cakes and things, but every day she used to bake bread. She used to have to make up half a spoon of flour every day till Saturday. And on Saturday it was 2 half stones. It makes it easier to knead having 2 instead of 1 stone. Now when I was 12, that was the first time I had to do it. And I used to do it then. When I was told, after I left school, I should do that every day. But of course I was at school when I was 12, but I used to occasionally, I used to have to knead the dough to make the bread, to make cakes at the end of the week. On top of them, it was lovely on Saturday afternoon to walk in the house,
Right
smell it, all that.
What sort of jobs did you do? I mean, did you have any hobbies or talents?
No, I never had any talents.
What about your mother's hobbies? Did you have any hobbies?
No, not what you have now. You see, we just used to entertain ourselves. Saturday night was bath night.
And you slept dancing?
No, I don't know what the old ones did. They had the boys had a Meccano set. We used to build Meccano things, and I don't know which one it belonged to, and but the older ones, and a train set. And I used to love to get to play with them because I loved playing with them. We used to have make Meccano things, and on a wet day we'd go upstairs on the landing, and somebody would be at the top, and make a cage out of Meccano, and wind it up and down, put things in to the one at the top, do things like that. Make up your own. And I was in the girl guides when I was younger. What you used to do, practice a lot of things, practice tying knots and all things. Used to have the back of the chair to practice tying knots on. The girl guides. I went camping with them once.
What sort of things did you eat? How much did you eat like
Well, for breakfast, in winter time especially, we called it soapy, but it was a half an oxo, much better than the oxos of today. They didn't crumble. You had to cook them, and then you put them in because it was a lot longer, with water on, salt and pepper, and some bread in. I very often have one of those now, only I crumble it. I like a bit of oxo. But the oxos were much better than the oxos of today, and they were more, it tasted better too. Well, very often, and it would probably be a slice of toast, although I don't remember having toast, but probably one, but we'd have that. But for dinner, well, we always had some potatoes and greens of some kind, not a lot. And Tuesdays I know was liver and bacon, but we only had a very small amount of meat, whatever it was. Stew meat was the most thing we had because it made a lot of gravy and it went further. And we'd only have a very small amount of meat. Because tea we should have just bread and jam or bread and wine.
Jam is
No, we'd have tea when we come home. And then when we were younger, it was bedtime at 6 o'clock. And we'd have half a slice of bread. Go to bed. That's all. On Saturday after the bath, we'd have an apple, half an apple, or a licorice also. And we used to have a little entertainment then. We all used to, after we'd had a bath, and it was a tin bath in front of the fire, because there was a boiler one side of the fire with the water in. And
Right, this is clothes. What did you wear?
Pants that with buttons on the side and at back that I couldn't fasten even when I went to school. Trapdoors we called them. Yes, because you see, you had to undo the buttons at the side, and the part used to drop down when you went to the toilet. I remember them. And I had some boots. I remember having some boots, and there were buttons, and that was another thing that I was a long, long while before I ever learned to do them. I've got the button up now. But I used to have you ever seen one? Only this is a small one. We had a big one. I did have a big one that folded, it's gone. That we used to fasten the buttons with up there. I do remember them. We must have had some others, but I can't remember. We never had any slippers. And I remember a rough night shirt. It was a shirt belonging to one of the older grown-ups that I had when I was very young. For sleeping in. They used to be very young.
During the day, did you wear dresses?
Yeah, without that. I don't remember much about it, but without them, I did manage. My mum did anyway, towards the end. I had a proper school tunic. It was second-hand, of course. It would be probably a blouse underneath. Not very posh at all, not posh at all. But I did have a tunic. With, in fact, you'll still see some girls exactly the same tunic, the yoke on with big broad pleats from here.
Right. So what house
Sorry,
sorry, I mean, did you have any rats and mice or
Oh.
green things?
We had black beetles. Yeah, no, that's why I weren't going to say anything, because that tested it. Oh yes, they were. You see the river's at the bottom like it is now. See, I'm against the same river. We had black beetles. And all I remember we used to, when it was bad weather, during those times, we couldn't go out to play. We'd go in the room, we used to play all sorts of fancy, make it a house and home, father and mother. But at the front door, we seldom used the front door, it was never used, because the floor was all rotten. And it wasn't safe to tread on. And yet, my mum only lived there 15 years, because she went there when Auntie Gwen was born. They went walking over, and Auntie Gwen was born on the September, and I was born following year. And we have to be careful again the door. If anybody come to the front door for anything, you have to run round out the back door and up the Gennel, some people call it, to them, because it was not safe.
What was the last all around Warsop? What sort of houses, shops?
Well, to begin with, there was no houses up by Methodist Church, up there, when I was a girl. It was all just farmland, all up there.
Just farm.
Farmland, and there was quite a few farms around here. Actually, I'm living now where there were 3 farms here. When I lived across the road, there were 3 farms there, and you come across the middle.
Just looking up to that now. Is that all marsh out there?
Oh yes, That was
Out
all,
from the cars.
it was all marshy, all this side. In fact, it's only of late that they built that up. While I was at the Willows, that was all a lake. One wet time, you used to go and stand on the bridge. Your dad came down to look. It was all a lake since you've been born. Well, I've been at the Willows, but they built it up. But the other side was all marsh and all bulrushes, and we had a bridge.
Over the cars.
The bridge that went over the cars was a wooden bridge when I was a girl. And there was only one side to it at one time. Whether it had rotted away, I don't know, but there was. And on one side, it went down. The bridge was here, and the road, still that one there, went down with the farm this side and the fields the other side. And that side of the bridge, right-hand side, was a ford. The cows and all that used to go across that because it was free land. They all, it was fit service land really. They used that to graze the cattle. And on this side, at certain times of the year, it went right down, and there was water at the bottom, and it was stone built so far up. And they used to drive the sheep into that, and it was what was called the sheep wash. You've seen them on television, where they make the sheep go through. It's still the disinfectant.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what that was. On the left-hand side of this bridge, we used to stand on the bridge and watch them making the sheep go in one at a time and prodding them to make them go right under to get rid of all the fleas and what the things that they get. That was there. But we used to play over there. There were lots of bushes and trees. We used to have a whale of a time because we used to our houses, and I didn't get in between, right in among the bushes sometimes.
What was that church religion?
And there were some pancakes there.
Church religion.
Well, I've always been to the Wesleyan Methodist Church as a child.
Was it like church now? Yeah. How did you dress up posh church? Posh
Well, we never were posh, but we had Sunday clothes.
How did you spend the afternoon on Sunday? There must have been different days.
Well, we had Sunday school in the morning and Sunday school in the afternoon.
Because Mum could never read the Sunday because it was so much. Never read.
With Sunday school in the morning, Sunday school in the afternoon, and we were not allowed, when we come from Sunday school dinner, we were allowed to go a little walk, but we were not allowed to do anything else. We were not allowed to play with the ball. My brother got sent to bed because one rolled up to him, some other people, children were playing with it, and he kicked it. And my mum got to know, and he was sent to bed for after school. We're not allowed to do anything, sew a button on, do any knitting or anything. I've changed my views since. But that, I think it was a better word for it. But we're not allowed to do anything like that. But we could go walk. But we had to behave ourselves. If we don't misbehaved and that, yeah, in Sunday school or anywhere. And when I got back to my parents, not my father, my mother, she wanted to know the reason why. Never would I didn't. She thought it was necessary.
Yeah. Right then, school.
Well, I hated school because I was not very good at it that time.
Was everybody
But I didn't want to leave when the time came for leaving. But I was no good at it, and I used to walk to school because we lived down there, down Church Street, to the infant school. Well, I don't remember a great deal about being in the infant school.
What did you write in it, Martin?
I don't remember writing till we got into the older school. Yes, we used to have exercise books. You have some similar to them now. And at the back of the exercise book were the tables, which they don't bother learning now. Half of the children don't know them. Yes, because you learnt them. You learnt your tables. But some of them don't do it. It was on television this week, and there were the inches, feet, yards, poles, and perches. Yeah, I don't remember the old one, but all those were on the back of the book. And gills, quarter pints, half pints. In fact, on the programme yesterday, on the children's programme, because I switched it on, the question was, how many pints? No, something, because I said 8. And 8 pints in a gallon. And the young man, he looked 14 to 16, he said a gill. And a gill is less than half a pint. Until I said 8, but he didn't listen to me.
Well, they never do they? I mean, if somebody asked me that, I haven't had time to explain to them.
No, you haven't. You see, that's it. That's the thing.
You don't need it. You need to
and there's another thing on television. No, when the weather sells something with
Celsius instead of centigrade. There's a lot about that.
What they're talking about? Anyway, that's what
the same thing.
They were on the back of the book.
I'll tell you.
All those like that, and it was an exercise book. Composition book was just a page with lines on. But arithmetic book, it should have a margin down on each page. You know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah.
But they were the same size books as you have.
Yeah.
All the things in.
What lessons did you have?
Reading, writing, 3 hours. Reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Do you have music?
Yes, but I wasn't learning. I was daft, wasn't I? It's the same teacher used to take the lot there. We didn't use that. It was towards the end of my school life. About the latter year or year and a half. Didn't be any more. That we started after we'd had one lesson. We moved to another class to another teacher. And it was now, just what I told you, we used to have arithmetic, history, geography, composition, needlework, and we didn't put, wasn't PT, I've been trying to think, it wasn't PT, it was exercises, that's what they called it, but it was the PT. But it was only arms upward stretch, forward stretch. That's all that we had. But when I was in England, we must have had some country dancing. Can't remember doing it, but we must have done, because they went in a competition, same as you go in a competition for your music, folk, same as the master competition, and it was at Retford, and I was chosen to go in the dancing because I've got dainty toes. And that is. Your uncle's never let me forget it. If you see Uncle Harold, he'll tell you, because I went home and told my mum, you see. Well, I haven't got a white dress. And so one of the teachers would have said, that's how poor we were. My mum got one from somewhere, I don't know why, one of the teachers would bring it on. And we went to Retford in this competition for country dancing. And the tune was Roger de Coverley. Not that is? Or Roger is dead and he lies in his grave. Oh, you know that one? Oh, well, we did that dancing round, supposed to be dancing round his grave with the action. Oh, Roger is dead and he lies in his grave, lies in his grave, lies in his grave. Oh, Roger is dead and he lies in his grave. I forget what. And there's quite a bit to it. And I've got a certificate going there. I remember dancing round the headmistress, Miss Moat, who was our guide mistress when I got older. You took me dancing, skipping round X Lane School building. And then she said I could go in, I could be in the dance team. Went to Retford. Now I do remember that, but I don't remember much great deal about being at England school. About being at Burns Lane, a little bit of the teachers of learning. And then there was too many children for Burns Lane. And the petrol station over here, you know what where it is, was the church hall. It belonged to the church, like the mission where Tesco, Kiwi, whatever it is. That was the mission, a mission hall that belonged to the church. But they split this up with a big curtain, this church hall, and there were two classes, boys one side and girls the other. And I went down there, and I remember one day. About 11 or 12, round about, left going on 14.
Yeah. Go on, sorry.
And I remember one day, couldn't walk, we walk up Wood Street and down there. Hot summer's day, you seldom see it now, I've never seen it for years and years. And the tarmac on the road used to come up in bubbles. And going to school, pressing these bubbles. When we got to school, it was sewing day and got tar all over your hand. I remember that day very much. Very much trouble over that. And I remember going to school once in my sister Gwen's boots because I hadn't got any. She must have been ill because otherwise I wouldn't have done. Because she'd have worn them. They never had two pairs of shoes. They were practically fell off the feet before we were able to buy a new pair. And I don't remember new coats. I don't remember coats. I think coats.
Right then, did you have good teaching?
Yes, I expect we did. If we listened.
Without punishment?
Used to have a cane. A ruler. Oh, I've had that.
Have you been smacked?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. What about at home?
Well, you have a clap in your time, I told.
To hit.
That's right. When we used to go to, I remember that was when I was in the attic. There were all smaller ones, the Albert, Fred, Albert. They were all small anyway. Of course, when we went to bed, we used to be laughing and talking. Yeah. I'd be in the attic when I was smaller. I'd making a noise. And my mum, of course, she was still working. She was working till she went to bed. She was up at 6 o'clock in the morning and working till she went to bed. She used to be watching from 6 in the morning till 6 o'clock. Just watching. Washing the clothes as well as hanging them out. And she used to shout at fellas to make a less noise and get off to sleep. If you don't behave yourself, I'll come up with strap. Well, I shan't come up, I'll bring strap. That's what she said. If you don't behave yourselves, I shan't come up, I shall bring strap. And we all burst out laughing. She did too. And if we didn't shut up and we had the bottom door open, we used to be quiet to listen who was coming upstairs. Because if it was my mum, it was no good, you know, no matter what you did, but if it was my dad, he'd give us a smack on top of clothes. But not my mum. She used to tear bedclothes down.
You'd be right back.
That's right. We're no worse off for it. You could do with a bit more of that today, and yet I don't believe a lot of corporal punishment.
Not a lot.
But it depends
But in
what
good
you...
measure, everything in good measure. Right then. When did you leave then?
I left when I was 14.
How long were your holidays?
It used to seem a long while. We used to have a month. But for pancake day, we only had half a day.
We had pancake day. Did you have half term?
They'd have a holiday at Easter. They'd have a holiday at Whitsun. It wasn't very much. I can't remember, but they'd have that like Whitsun side. Now they'd have a holiday for potato picking holiday, we call it. That would be a week. I've been potato picking. Go on Monday and all the rest of the day, so I wasn't in a good work. Well, of course I couldn't. I had to retire and take it about the years old. Christmas. We used to go practically up to Christmas Eve. I don't remember holidaying much before. I don't know how long we were. I can't remember how long we had. But we'd have 4 weeks, about 4 weeks in summer. A lot more holidays than we had. Rest. Some teachers.
Right then, how did you go on holiday and how did you go and where did you go?
No holidays. We didn't know what.
Have you ever been on holiday when you were a child? I only had one.
We used to save up. We used to pay so much a week. And Sunday school, it was at Sunday school, just for a day's trip to the seaside.
Yeah.
I remember only going once. We probably went more than once. We did. We must have gone more than once.
Yeah. Oh.
But that was through the Sunday school. It was to Cleveland. Went in the lorry. The trip fell through all at once. I don't know why, but the superintendent of the Sunday school, he had a lorry. He built the house on the school road, Cleveland Villa it's called, across from that rumble, that bridge. Well, that was where your Auntie Gwen lived on Manston Road. That's where she was born. Her father built that house. Father was the superintendent of the Wesleyan Sunday School, Wesleyan Church, Richardson, Burnsley. And he had a lorry because he used to deliver coal. He used to deliver coal in lorries. And we went in there was another family, Scotland. We went in a lorry. But we never had it at the time. I remember going a week away. Well, I was supposed to, but I was on to come back. It was an aunt. And when had been away on holiday and when I wanted to and took me back with her. But there were no children, nobody to play with.
Boring.
And I was homesick and I've been away from home before.
What, did you go away to seaside Carrick or something? No, Chicago.
No, not
I'm
really.
thinking about it went to Chicago. And I was 60. You know, all the people that died and one of the toys was saying.
That was in the lorry.
Oh, was it?
That was the lorry, not the horse and cart. That was the lorry. And I don't think, it wasn't Mr. Hobble's lorry now, no. It was Mr. Scotland.
Yeah.
And he had a canvas over it when we went. He had Ken Scotland, he was the one that was sick. We all had some chips, you see, and he had some, he probably had. Well, his mother was, we never really got to know her, but she was a lady that was, to look at, she was so prim and proper, you see. There were a lot, in their minds, a lot higher in the social scale than we were, because we were a very poor family, and there were a lot of us. And their husband, they got more money, because they built, where Bertha and Ken Scotland live now, they built that. They had, Mr. Scotland, they lived in London Terrace up there at one time, and they built that house where they live now.
What happened to that home?
Oh, nothing, you just see same where everybody else. See where they live there. Well, a child couldn't do things like that, but the children are all alive. Somebody was rich and poor, if you're going to be sick, they'll be sick.
Right then. What did you do on Saturday? What sort of week? What did you do? Did you have any chores or things like that? How long happened?
As we got older, we used to have to clean also for the school. It wasn't so much, but I always used to hate it because not with the stuff you have now. You have to mix some bath brick, water, mix together and clean them with the spoons and knives and forks. And apart from that, all the shoes you have to clean for Sunday. And first time I told her after I had to scrub the floor, scrub the house, to widen it up and stuff, the steps and the pumice down, and step and had to step through the floor, that clean the floor, and the toilet, the wall, scrub all that down. As you've got to be told that you can do it when you're very small, just got to be told that. Dust and big windows and all sorts of things like that. But my mother, the windows that with the latch, and you pull the top one down, push the bottom one, so what you see them. Well, my mother, that I would not do that anyway, she'd push the bottom one up, sit on it, with the legs inside, the body outside, pull the top down, clean the top. Sitting outside there. My mother used to do that. Got to hold it. Like this, with the window here. This is the outside with the wall at the back. And your legs over to clean the windows. All jobs like that. And just the bedrooms and the stairs down.
You have to do all that, surely.
And then as I got a bit older, when I left school, I used to have to do bread every day, half a stone of bread every day, and then make 2 half stones on Saturday, because no baking on Saturday, no baking bread on Saturday. Yet my mum cooked all the dinner on Saturday, but no baking bread on Saturday. All the work had to be done before Sunday.
Anyway, what did you do in the evening on Saturday?
Well, we still in bed at 6 o'clock. Saturday night was that night. And after tea, we'd probably go out playing for an hour, if it was like. If not, we'd be playing in the house. Or blind man's book, or hiding things, or reading. I would like reading. I used to love to read. I bought
bath night, you said.
I bought an hour's away. I was in Stockton. And we used to have 2 in bath at once, one at each end. In front of the fire. And there'd be Harry, Gwen, me, Albert, Fred. Well, Harold would be very small. All the rest were older. Two at once, one at each end in the bath. And there was a nurse called Nurse Stimson, who was a girlfriend of my mother's. She would come down to our house at 6 o'clock for the things to be quiet. She did.
She didn't get it.
Well, we were at bath night, and after we'd had a bath, we were all dry and fresh and clean, little cherubs. We always have a party, I have to say a party piece or sing a party piece. That's what we used to do.
You could dance.
No, I used to sing. When I used to recite, she used to learn things very well. I can't remember what was the thing, but I used to have to sing. And if we had visitors, I used to have to sing. Well, I've not got a good voice, so...
Always, ages ago, we always used to have it so that when a visitor came, it didn't matter how far you were off, always the child, from which homes, had to go and trial on the piano that we were learning the instrument we were playing.
Well, recently, I
recording.
used to sit at sewing machine playing it, which was schooling it was one time.
Yeah, what did you do on Monday?
Monday was wash day. Well, it was the same, just amuse yourself. Writing, drawing.
Yeah. You used to go to school.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah. We went to school, we came home and had tea out. Then you come home for dinner. You didn't have school dinner.
There was no school then. No school.
What about Tuesday? What did you do?
Well, it was the same thing.
Just all the time.
For breakfast, I can't remember what we did in summer. It was probably a little toast, but I don't remember. I've got to say, I can't remember a lot about my